everybody and welcome back to a new video, and today we are going to chat about my fitness journey and all of the little bits and bobs along the way. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I don't know if you've seen, but I did actually do one of these a long time ago now. It was almost exactly 2 years ago, and I thought it would be quite interesting just to do sort of an update on it. I still want to explain to you the whole of the journey in case you haven't seen that video. I'm going to try and summarize it a little bit because I talked for quite a long time, but I do feel like the first early bits of the fitness journey quite important, so I do want to include it in this one as well as sort of what's been going on since then, 2 years on. Basically, I got into fitness, I'd say, in 2014. I feel like maybe it was longer than that. It was my first year of uni, so no. This is a really bad start, I'm sorry. I think it was 2013 when I first started uni. Right before this though, I was an absolute slug. Literally, my mum to this day finds it so bizarre that I fell into this fitness lifestyle because she literally remembers me as a slug growing up. I feel like lots of us were slugs growing up and just didn't really enjoy exercise of any sort. And I loved a good drink, I loved a good gin, and a Southern Comfort lemonade or a Passoa lemonade. I don't know if many people used to drink that, but I did and I loved it. And I was a shop girl and a barmaid and just lived a party lifestyle for quite a few years when I was a bit younger. So that's where I started. And in my first year of uni, obviously I was in freshers as well, so I was literally living my best life and having an absolute party, and also just not having the greatest diet. So I loved a ready meal. It was also my first year away from home, so I was learning to cook for myself, which sounds really silly because I should probably have already known. But when I was back home, I did just used to eat quite a lot of frozen food, like pizzas, smileys and waffles, like the potato waffles though, and chicken nuggets, fish fingers, all of that. I just loved it. Didn't ever like think about the healthy aspect to a lifestyle back then, but I feel like lots of us don't. I was in my first year of uni, and I think because I had this freedom, it was accentuated the diet of ready meal and alcohol all the time because I was in freshers and just having fun. I was a bit of a slug, but I don't regret it. I don't regret anything. That's what I just want to say now. Any part of my journey I don't regret at all, and my mindset from every part in my journey has changed so much over the years to where I am now and the way I view fitness. The main reason I do want to chat to you guys about this and go back to the start again is just because I feel like that's the part that different people might be able to relate to. I don't talk about far back very much, so I think it's quite important to still include it in this video as well as having the old one, but I used to talk very slow, so don't go back and watch that one because I'll tell the story quicker and better today. So I was in my first year of uni, and remember me and my flatmate, we decided that we would try and start going to the gym. I think we just like saw celebrities in magazines. This was before even Instagram was a big thing. Yeah, we saw celebrities in magazines and thought, oh, let's go and try and lose some weight. That's all we wanted to do. So we joined a gym down the road. It was like a little teeny rubbish gym. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you wanted to, you know, get into being a gym goer, it wasn't the place. It just had a few cardio machines and a little dumbbell rack, a bit like a hotel gym. So we went there and we literally just didn't really do much. Like, I would go there, do the cross trainer, a bit of bike. Not there's anything wrong with this, but I had this image in my head that I kind of wanted to achieve, and this way was not the way it was going to happen, at least quickly. I mean, it probably just wouldn't happen this way at all. It wasn't consistent at all. It took me a very long time to form a habit and make it part of my routine to exercise. So I was just doing like bits and bobs in the cardio machines. I literally remember, I actually remember somebody doing walking lunges in the little dumbbell section, and I was literally looking at them like, what the heck are they doing? Because I didn't really know what a walking lunge was. It was all very alien, and I forget that feeling. Weightlifting now to me is so normal because I've been doing it for so long that it feels really strange to think back before I knew how to lunge and how to squat. And we all were there once, and I completely feel you if it all feels really alien right now. So yeah, literally there was no way I was going in the weight section. I was like, I will look really stupid, but you won't. But I mean, that's just how you feel, isn't it, at the beginning? We just weren't consistent. We went like a couple of times, just chatted through, didn't really push ourselves or get a sweat on or anything. And I actually remember walking home one day and just eating a whole packet of caramel nibbles, you know, the dairy milk ones. Love them. And I just didn't really like adjust my diet or anything to go with the exercise, so it was kind of just cancelling it out really, for what I wanted to achieve anyway. So yeah, we did that a little bit, and I also did my Natalie Cassidy workout DVD. I hate workout DVDs. They may work for some people, but I just used to dread it so much. And that's the thing, you do have to an extent, enjoy the exercise that you choose to make part of your routine. Otherwise it's just not going to become part of your routine, if you get me. You don't want to be killing yourself every time to go and do it. So that just wasn't for me. That's the thing, you've got to work out what is your thing and what you enjoy. So weightlifting, which now is my thing, and actually I do really enjoy circuit training, HIIT training, so it has sort of developed over the years. Didn't stick at it, gave up. I do remember though, that summer of the first year of uni, I was on a girls trip to Malia. I was literally in my prime party phase, and I had the half pink, half blue hair. I will slot a picture on screen in case you haven't seen. Back in the day, would do it again now. Couldn't get my hair blonde for about a year after that. It was supposed to wash out in 1 wash as well. No, 3 washes. Fail. Yeah, I was on this holiday, and I did notice myself starting to look around the way other people looked and feeling conscious myself. Never been very overweight. I'm quite naturally petite. I'm quite short, and I am just quite small, but I was very shapeless and had the alcohol podge feeling because I was just very sluggish, not eating well, and eating a lot of processed foods like ready meals that have a lot of salt and preservatives in it. So I just remember everything was tiring. I literally remember actually coming to my mum's house where I am right now, and she's got 2 flights of stairs. She's got a 3-story house, and I would be completely out of breath by the time I got upstairs to the top floor to my room. And I used to joke that that was my exercise for the week, but I was actually kind of being serious. I just remember I was looking around and I started to feel a little bit conscious, and I was sort of thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this forever, because I may turn into a slug, like an actual slug. This was the time when I felt like I wanted to make a change of some sort, like a serious change. So I then started university a few weeks later, had a new flat. I had new flatmates, and one of the girls I became really close with, she said to me, oh, should we start the gym? It's just down the road. That was very helpful. It's always very helpful when your gym's close, because getting to the gym, we all say, is the hardest part. Literally getting out your house, getting out of bed, and getting either in your car to the gym or walking to the gym, I find is just the hardest part, where you got one little guy on this side going, nope, we're not going anywhere, and you've got one little guy going, come on, you'll feel so good afterwards. So you just got to listen to her sometimes. He can stay behind in the bed. But that is the hardest bit, I think, and it was very helpful that this gym was very close, and I ended up going to that gym until I moved out of London a few months ago. And that's another thing, when you have a gym that you just feel at home at, is a good thing, which obviously takes a while to get used to. But when you start getting used to the people that go to the gym, you don't feel intimidated as much, and I don't know, it becomes a nice social place to an extent. I mean, you don't really want to be going to the gym and having long chats, because then you might lose your zone. I like being in the zone at the gym. Oh, Bluebell's coming, hang on. Yes, we joined this gym, and at this point my goal was to just lose a bit of weight, and I really wanted to have a bit of definition on my tummy. The whole sort of weightlifting body and curvy look wasn't in then, which I know sounds really funny, and I feel like a bit weird saying that. Times has changed a lot, but at that point I feel like it was more of the thing and the magazine image to be, you know, like a slim, tall person. So me and my friend started going, and all we did was abs. So we thought that to get abs we would just lie on the floor for half an hour in the gym and do crunches. But it's a little bit harder than that to get abs, and it takes a lot of different aspects to get abs. I don't regret it. Again, I had to learn and pass that phase, but not much happened for a while. So I did that for quite a long time with her, and we'd have a long chat while we were doing it and just have a little look around, have a people watch. Yeah, not much happened. But then I think a few months down the line, when I started to get a little bit more interested in the whole fitness lifestyle, I did start to follow people on Instagram, but as I said, it wasn't like a huge thing as it is now. So now if you go on Instagram, you get a workout there like that. There's workout videos everywhere, and they're so helpful. Back then there was only a couple, so I followed a couple of girls. I thought, ooh, maybe I'll try some of them. It's a bit like a tutorial. Just follow along what they do, I won't feel as silly. That's when I started to also be interested in having a bit more of a curvy body. So I've always had sort of not the biggest hips and not the inniest waist. I was quite straight down, so I really wanted to build out where I could naturally. So I wanted to build out my glutes, And eventually I learned if I built out my back and my, well, not built out my shoulders, but if I built out the top of my back, I would then be able to form a bit more of this sort of shape to myself. So I figured that was by weightlifting. Followed these videos, but mainly just stuck to like machines. Didn't really go into the free weights because I found it a little bit too scary. And then another reason I joined the gym, which is quite funny. My now fiance, I fancied him, and he went to this gym, and I thought, oh, if I go, I'll see him more and he'll see me more. So a bit stalkerish, but it worked. So then after a while we actually did start dating, and he was very into it, into fitness. So he then looked at what I was eating, because I said to him, oh, I'm not really seeing much progress. But also at the beginning I feel like it is a little bit of a longer process to start to see progress. As you get further into your fitness lifestyle, your body will show progress quicker the further down the line you are, I've found. At the beginning it took quite a long time to really see some proper difference in the way I looked. But I wasn't seeing much progress at all, and he started to sort of look at what I was doing and what I was eating. And at this point I thought to eat low carb was a thing, because on the internet, in different places, I mean, there's really good things on the internet, but then there are not great things. I feel like it's not as big of a thing now and people are more aware. At this point I thought carbs were literally the enemy, so I was eating like chicken with lettuce for every meal basically. Eventually I did listen to him, and he did start to sort of cook. Well, when he cooked, he would cook for me when he was with me, and I started to introduce like sweet potatoes and rice, wraps. I even wouldn't eat wraps. Carbs in my meal, which now is, I know, is such an important thing. And when I create my meals, when I make my meals now, I always make sure I have a protein source. Well, you know, as much as I can, a protein source, a carb source, and veggies, because carbs are very important. There is the whole keto diet thing. It's not something that I really think is great personally. I don't really like diets at all. I think it's just important to have like a balance in your food and have, you know, the different types of food in your meals. So yeah, I started to do that. I started to get a better relationship with food and understand it a bit more. I mean, obviously we all have to go through these different parts in our journeys, because you have to learn that, okay, that didn't really work that well, but you know, I've tried it now, and then, oh, okay, that works well for me, so I'm gonna go with that. Maybe I can add in that. I think it's very important, and not to look back and be like, oh, that's embarrassing because I didn't eat carbs for a while, how embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, because that's what shaped my knowledge to what it is now. Otherwise I might always wonder, oh, maybe if I did do the no carb thing, maybe I would see better progress. But no, I feel like I just got a lot stronger and more confident, started to form more of a routine, do weights, and I eventually then started to introduce different techniques like pyramid sets and supersets, drop sets, German volume training, and these different techniques do really intensify your workouts but also make it less boring. So I did have a point before this where I was just, you know, getting my workout done to get out the way rather than actually being in it. And I still have some workouts like that now, it's inevitable, but I started to enjoy what I was doing and started, you know, experimenting, being creative, trying out new things when I did gain that confidence. The other reason why I started to love the gym as well at the beginning, because it was my stress relief from uni. So I was at a music school and it was just like an escape where I could just work on myself, pop my earphones in, have a, not a party, have a nice time working out on myself. But it's true. It sounds really cliche, but when you are, you know, working on yourself, that is one of the best things you can do, and it is so important to do things just for you sometimes. And that little time in the gym is just my time, and whenever I leave the gym I feel accomplished for the day. I feel positive, I feel stronger. I feel tired too, but you know, it's just such a good thing to add into your day, whether it's the gym or whether it is any form of moving your body. Just moving your body will just lift your day. Anyway, I've gone off track. Let's get back into our, I've got my notes by the way. The other thing as well, because I was working on myself, I actually grew in confidence as a person. So at the beginning of mine and Niall's relationship, this was quite an early time in our relationship, and I've talked about it quite a lot. I had a very toxic relationship before him for a very long time back in Wales. At the beginning I was very insecure and just not very happy in myself. I think that was a big reason why I would get drunk all the time. I just did enjoy it and had fun, but I also do think I just didn't feel like I had much direction or purpose. I was quite hurt still, and my parents had just broke up, and my mum had just been ill, and I wanted to create a life for myself, but I wasn't doing it amazingly. But that's fine, because that was where I was in my life at that time. It did make me a much more disciplined, organised and confident person when I started to work on myself and do things for myself. So it actually improved mine and Niall's relationship, because I started to love myself, and then I had love that I could give him. I think that's the right way to say it. And just working out and working on you is the best thing ever anyway. So yes, then as I kind of got more and more into it, I started to experiment more, up my weight and pushed myself. I still go through stages where I don't push myself as much because I can't be bothered. I was pushing myself a lot more. I then decided actually I would really like to be a personal trainer, so I became a personal trainer. Actually then started working at my gym that I trained at for years. And another big goal I did always have was, because I had found these Instagram workouts so helpful for myself, I then wanted to move that onto social media and create an online platform where I could have clients and be an online personal trainer, because I felt like that's where it was moving. So fitness was becoming very big on social media. So then I created my Instagram and I started to post workout videos just as I had seen, because I wanted to build up a client base and I wanted to be able to help any girls that felt like me at the beginning, felt like they'd look stupid and they didn't really want to reach out to a PT, and I thought it would just be a good thing. And then that's where I kind of fell into what I do now. I then built my Peach Plan eventually, and that's literally one of the dearest, proudest things I've ever done so far in my life. Just creating like a safe place where women can feel like they can talk about things that aren't even just about fitness, empower each other, and just creating a community where these women can create healthy lifestyles for themselves, because as well as it helping you physically, it does help you so much mentally. And as the years have gone on, that has actually been more of my drive than the physical aspect. So that kind of leads us onto the later days. And I actually was trying to think, because I was writing notes because this is such a long story. This part of my fitness life feels much more of a blur than that bit. Actually looking back at my last fitness journey video 2 years ago, I wasn't in as good of a place as I actually thought I was. When I was talking in that video, I felt fine, I was fine, and as I said, I don't regret anything. However, I had no life, no social life, and I was obsessed with fitness. I still am to an extent, but as I always say, it's a part of my life, fitness. It's not my whole life, and unless, you know, you're competing or you're an actual athlete or a bodybuilder, I don't think it's as healthy when it becomes like everything to you. To be honest, it was a bit of a weird transition when I actually realised this, and I actually realised I'd stopped texting back my friends and I'd stopped making plans, because I thought that if I go and eat food out, or if I have a gin, then I'm going to lose all my progress from last week. But you're actually not going to, and it just took me forever to realise this. And me and my best friend were talking about this the other day. She was like, you are so much more like you before fitness now, yet you still are into fitness, but mentally I'm so much more myself than I ever was, because I feel like it takes you a very long time to find a medium. It has literally taken me 5 years to really feel like I'm in a good place with it, and really feel like, you know, if I miss a week or if I miss 2 weeks, then I'm gonna be fine. The gym is always there to go back to, and actually it is very good to have a mental rest and a physical rest. Your body needs the rest sometimes. And before, I literally, you know, if I was going on holiday, I would stress so much about the fact that, is there a gym there? Or can I take dumbbells on the plane, or will my suitcase be too heavy? It's so important to live and let go sometimes. I feel like fitness can make you so strict, and I didn't even realise it at the time. I didn't even realise that I wasn't seeing my friends anymore. I don't know, I was actually so uptight, and I felt like I was like, oh, I'm so disciplined, oh, I'm so organised, but I was so uptight, and I thought that I was in a great place. But really looking back, I had no life. My life was get up in the morning, go to the gym, come home, do my work, go to bed. And I was a granny. I mean, I still am a granny sometimes, but I do also really like to go out with my friends. And, you know, if there was a day where friends were like, oh, we're doing this all day, I would have said no. I would have said, nope, I need to go to the gym, or I'd make myself get up really, really early and just be exhausted for the day with my friends, because I had to have the gym in that day. It's just so weird to look back on. As I said, we all do have to go through these different stages in our fitness journey, and we all do have to experience what we need to experience. But I just think it's so important to remember that unless you are an athlete, the gym isn't absolutely everything in your life, and there are loads of things that are important as well as looking great. My main drive now to work out is the fact that it makes me feel great, and the fact that the endorphins make me feel great, and I feel happy, and I wake up and I mean, I struggle to get there often. I have rubbish motivation weeks very often, but I know that afterwards I never regret it. Before, the little guy over here is like, don't go, don't go. But afterwards I always feel amazing, and I feel accomplished, and my head feels clearer. My to-do list doesn't feel so massive and clumped. I can see everything clearer. There will be different times in your life where you can't always put working out first, and you can't always put fitness first and exercising first, and other priorities come in, passions divert, and that's okay. And I feel like I used to beat myself up so much for that. If there was like a period in my life where actually, you know, uni work had to come first and I had to put gym on the backseat. I guess I just want to say, you know, we are all human, and we don't always want to be weightlifting women. And as I said, when I talk about the gym, that is just my form of moving my body. But, you know, whatever is your thing, and you do need to work out what you enjoy. That's what I'm talking about in a larger sense when I say, you know, working out. That might be going to classes, or, you know, my mum goes to squash all the time, or a sport, or running, or, you know, CrossFit. Whatever your thing may be, moving your body is what's important, and that can be whatever way you want it to be, because it will help your physical appearance if that's your goal, and it will definitely help your mentality. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it here because I don't even know what I've said at the end of this. And I feel like I'm blabbing, so I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching if you watched. I really do hope you enjoyed. Hope there was something you could take away from this and relate to in some way. Whatever part of your journey you are in right now, you are supposed to be there, and you will get to where you want to be, and just keep at it, keep moving your bod, and don't forget to eat pasta sometimes, and enjoy a gin or a Jaffa cake if you want to. I'm gonna love you and leave you now. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one, which will be on Wednesday.